Welcome back, Proppers. For this week's project, we'll be creating the Djinn from the epic movie The Wishmaster. And again, I'll be using my very versatile skull template. After assembling the skull template, I get started on creating the horns. The horn template is from my Krampus build, which you can see on my channel. To get the full Krampus build template, you have to go to the channel of its original maker, SKS Props, Stephen K. The skull and the horns will be cut out of 6mm HD foam, also a product of Stephen K. 4 pieces are cut out of the 6mm HD foam to create the 2 horns. The pieces are all heated and hand formed before being attached together with contact cement. I always start by attaching the outer edges to create less sanding afterwards. It's less crucial in this case because the horns will be wrapped afterwards. Attaching the inner sections of the horn is a little more difficult, so just take your time and it'll all be fine. The wrapping for the horns will be made by cutting a strip of 2mm EVA foam 3.5 inches by 60 inches long. I don't have any foam a full 60 inch in length, so I'll have to attach 2 strips together. The strips will be attached together with contact cement. While the contact cement is setting up, I'll use strips of paper to keep it from sticking to my working surface. The 60 inch strip is marked from corner to opposite corner and cut with my X-Acto knife. A little heat is applied to the attachment point to remove the protective paper, but don't use too much heat or you'll compromise the connection point. Starting from the smallest point in the strip, it's spiral wrapped around the horn with a 1/4 inch overlap. A small amount of instant glue is used at 2 points on each overlap. After the horns are tightly and thoroughly wrapped, they are angled cut to fit the head. The Djinn's horns start from the top of the head, but I'll have to put these on the side back and then create some extension pieces that'll start at the top of the head and run back, merging with the horns. Before attaching the horns to the head, I'll use my drummer rotary tool to etch in some fine detail. With the detailing done, the horns are attached to the head with contact cement. At this point, the horns are still a little too far from the side of the face, but I'll make some adjustments for that later. Right now, I'll get started with making his oversized ears, which will be cut out of 10mm EVA foam. All of the facial features will be created freehand as I go along. The inner contours of the ears will be marked out, and the areas that need to be divoted out will be shaded. After I'm happy with the size and shape of the ear, a mirror image is created for the other side. The edges are all smooth and rounded with my drummer rotary tool. My X-Acto knife is used to remove material and create the contours. After sanding all the rough surfaces smooth, a thin coat of foam clay is applied. To create the facial features, I map out the size and position of the overlays. When I feel that I'm happy with the overlays, I transfer it onto a piece of tracing paper. After finding the side that I'm most happy with, I transfer it onto a piece of brown paper and fold it in half before cutting to get symmetry between both sides of the face. The brown paper gives me a sturdier material to wrap around the face to locate all of the dart position and sizes. I transfer the finished product onto a piece of cardstock for my final template. You can now see how wacky the shape and contour of this template is. I would have never been able to get this accurately without going through the process of the tracing paper to the brown paper. The overlay template is then cut out of a piece of 6mm EVA foam. A bit of hand forming is done first to the overlay, and then it's test fitted on the head before all the darts are closed with contact cement. The darts are closed while holding the overlay in a curvature position. The first overlay is then attached to the top of the head with contact cement. I want to take a little time right now to ask you all to support my action-adventure book series. The first book in the series is Inherent Evil, about an orphan child turned psychotic hitman. The second book in the series is titled Escaping the Green Abyss, the story of two young university students who trek deep into the Amazon jungle in search of a lost indigenous tribe. Both available on Amazon and Kindle. I would appreciate your support. Now back to our special project. While carefully attaching the first overlay, any minor adjustments are done on the spot. The same procedure will be used to create the overlay for the bottom section of the face. A half template is made for the bottom section of the face. The half template is used to cut the full bottom overlay out of 6mm EVA foam. The bottom overlay is hand-formed, test-fitted, and all adjustments are made before being attached to the face with contact cement. All of the edges and transitions are rounded and smooth with the Dremel rotary tool. It's time to get started on the supplemental pieces that'll transition the horns to the top of the head. When I'm satisfied with the final product, it's attached to the top of the head and the horns with contact cement. The ears are then positioned and attached to the side of the head with contact cement. To create the nose, I'll be using a split EVA foam dowel coated with a small piece of 4mm EVA foam, all of which will be attached with contact cement. A small strip of 4mm EVA foam is wrapped and shaped for each nostril. The nose is then attached to the face with contact cement and a final shaping done with my Dremel rotary tool. The lips will also be created from short strips of split EVA foam dowel. I'll be creating the neck out of 6mm EVA foam. After marking out the contours of the head on the neck, it's cut and attached with contact cement. A strip of 2mm EVA foam is used to reinforce the seam. The tube is then cut in preparation for sizing to the neck stand. To create the neck stand, I'll be rolling up several sheets of cardboard sealed with spray adhesive until I get my desired diameter. The cardboard cylinder is then marked and cut down to size. The cylinder is then wrapped in 6mm EVA foam. Contact cement will be used to seal the area closest to the seam. The remaining areas will be sealed with spray adhesive. I'll be using wood putty to seal the end corrugations of the cardboard. The finished tube will then be attached to a wood base with glue. The base is clamped into position and set aside to dry. After the glue has set up on the base, it's fitted and attached to the neck with contact cement. Once again, I'll be using the split plastic nitrogen ball from my Guinness can for eyeballs. The position of the eyeballs are marked out and they are attached with instant glue. I can now start the initial skinning process of the facial features with foam clay. I was unhappy with the size and shape of the chin, so I utilized some foam clay to restructure it. Foam clay is also used to tie in that added section to the top of the head and the horns. The top of the head also needed to be reshaped and pronounced, so I utilized a little bit of foam clay for that as well. As you can see, the large amount of foam clay that I used to reshape and pronounce the chin had drooped with gravity. Fortunately, I was able to address that situation before the foam had fully set up. After the initial foam clay features had fully set up, I was able to start the final touches with the lips and eyes. The foam dowel lips were skimmed and shaped with foam clay before creating the upper and lower eyelids. After the entire project had set up, I gave it 2 coats of white Plasti Dip and 1 coat of high-performance white spray paint. For the base coat of the entire project, I'll be using my antique bronze ready-to-pour acrylic paint. After the bronze coat was applied, I dry brushed it clean. A mixture of Liquitex Mars Black and Titanium White was used to create a light gray base for the horns. The contours and crevices of the horns were highlighted with Mars Black. Some of the final details were accentuated by using my USB soldering iron. A wash of Liquitex Raw Sienna was then applied to the horns, and a wash of Liquitex Red Oxide for the face. After another dry brushing, a mixture of Liquitex Yellow and Blue was created to make a green wash for the face. After a final wash and dry brushing of Red Oxide, all of the shattering details for the entire project was done with Liquitex Mars Black. The eyeballs were painted titanium white, and light splashes of red was applied across the entire project at strategic points. The pupils were created, and remnants of red was used to bloodshot the eyes. To finalize the project, his satanic symbol is carved into the forehead. Don't worry, it's not hurting him a bit. He loves pain. And this marks the end of another exciting project. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, press that like button, and press the bell notification so you'll be notified when each new video is uploaded. I really appreciate your support. And be sure to purchase my 2 book projects on Amazon or Kindle. You can find the direct links in the descriptions below.